Portland be the 18th team in Major League Soccer?
It's the City of Portland's championship.
It is great to be home.
Sports Sunday with Orlando Sanchez.
What is good, everyone? Welcome to Sports Sunday. Thanks for staying up late with us. My name is Orlando, and we've got a stacked show for you. Art Edwards sends us all greetings from Newport, Wales. He's there for the Welsh Open. That's a snooker tournament. If you're not familiar, snooker is a game kind of like pool, but with a much bigger table, red balls everywhere. Poor Art got his hand stuck in one of the pockets, so he won't be on the show tonight. Art, get well soon. We'll start with the best video you'll see all night. Gritty, the mascot, having his own adventures. He hit the slopes this week on a snowboard. What can't he do? Or it do? The basketball season has had plenty of ups and downs for the Ducks and Beavers, but they both came through today as we are getting close to tournament time. And baseball season, it's almost here. We talked to the new man in charge for the Hillsboro Hops. But let's kick off the show in Rip City. Not exactly how we thought it would go down on Saturday. The Trailblazers season best 6-game win streak snapped against the Wizards, and what was a really weird game. One quarter, the Blazers dropped 43 points, and then the next put up just 12. Enes Kanter had another double-double, and Damian Lillard, he led the way with 35 points and a dozen assists, hitting shots from the logo again. But Washington feasted on layups, shooting 50%. Russell Westbrook messed around and had a triple-double, while the league's leading scorer, Bradley Beal, dropped 37, and the Wizards beat the Blazers 118-111.
Anybody can be beat on any given night in any given arena. And, we've been playing really well. I thought we played a pretty good game tonight. We just didn't shoot the ball well. But it just shows how hard it is to be able to sustain a certain level of play.
All right, don't panic, Rip City. The Blazers are 18-11. They're in 5th place in the West. Here's a look at the week ahead. The Blazers are back on the road for another 3-game trip. They're in Phoenix and Denver on back-to-back nights starting tomorrow. Then they're at the Staples Center for a date with the Lakers on Friday. All right, we got to talk more about the Portland Trail Blazers. Who better to do that than Danny Marang? You can watch him on NBC Sports Northwest after every single Blazers game. He is one half of the Blazers Outsiders. Danny, your thoughts on the Blazers' performance against the Wizards? What's your level of concern after that game?
It's kind of a bit weird because, I'm the guy that hates moral victories, right? and I'm not going to give him one, but at the same time, you win straight, you drop a game against a team that's playing hot, you're shorthanded, I can actually kind of write that one off, right? Hey, it is what it is. There's things you didn't want to see in that game, but they're basically playing with found money, winning that many games in a row, being this shorthanded. So I think it's one of those ones you take a look at the game tape and find what you can find, but you move on to the next. You got a few more games to close out before the All-Star break. Just take care of business.
And the beauty of that, Danny, is that, they get to look ahead right away and hit the road for a 3-game trip. And these are some tough teams on deck.
Yeah, you've got 3 really good teams. You've got the Suns, you've got the Nuggets, and the Lakers. And they're all different, varying levels of success and health right now. Phoenix is incredibly healthy. They've probably been the most consistent team of the 3 so far this season. They're going to present unique problems with Chris Paul and Devin Booker. But I think this is a good measuring stick for Portland. Outside of that Wizards game that they dropped, they've been playing some teams that are been performing pretty terribly, honestly. So this is going to be an upper echelon team. Let's see. It's not so much I think about win or lose. Let's see where they stand up. Are they going to be competitive all 4 quarters? Are they going to have a quarter where they disappear? Are they going to have one of those situations where you're wanting to pull your hair out at halftime, but somehow Damian Lillard saves them? 1-2, 2-1, or any combination of winning and losing games, but somehow, some way, beating the Lakers will save the trip no matter what.
That sounds like no sweep, as long as they don't get swept. on this road trip. It's all good.
You gotta avoid going on 3-game losing streaks. If you look at the way the standings go, everybody drops 1 or 2. You just gotta avoid dropping 3 straight, because otherwise you start tumbling down the standings and then the panic starts to settle in.
Finally, Danny, the Blazers showing us some footage of CJ and Nurk back at the practice facility working out. How big of a deal is that, and how much better can this team be, obviously, when those two return?
Yeah, this is the anytime you get that kind of footage, it's very funny. It's a lot like the off-season workout footage. You're like, who put on more muscle, who lost more weight. You got hashtag muscle watch. Now it's hashtag injury watch. It is fun. It is great to see those guys back, especially a guy like Nurk, who's just been so injury riddled over the last couple of years. You want to see him back out there. As much as CJ means so much to this team, Nurk is the one that's going to elevate that ceiling a little bit more because of what he gives them defensively. Cantor's been fantastic in that role, giving them so much in this short period without him. But Nurk is that guy. He's their talisman. He's the one who's going to inspire. He's going to be the defensive anchor. And getting him back and integrated, I think, is the most important thing for this team. And it's not to slight CJ. CJ was playing at quite literally an all-star pace. Obviously, as far as a talent level, is going to be a big, big boon for Portland.
Danny Morang, he is the man. You can catch him after every single Portland Trail Blazers game on NBC Sports Northwest, one half of the Blazers Outsiders. Danny, thank you for joining us on Sports Sunday, man.
Thanks, Orlando.
And it's an exciting time to be a Blazers fan, the way the team has played recently. But Rip City not happy to hear the way All-Star voting went down. The starters were revealed, and Damian Lillard is not one of them. It was so close, it came down to a tiebreaker rule between Lillard and the Mavericks' Luka Doncic. Lillard was the clear choice among players and media, but Doncic had more fan votes, and the tiebreaker was fans. The All-Star reserves will be announced on Tuesday. Those are decided by the coaches. This would be Lillard's 6th All-Star appearance. The All-Star game is scheduled for March 7th. All right, a marquee matchup in the league. Brooklyn Nets visiting the Clippers. Two teams in the championship mix, and this turned out to be a good one. Clippers owner Steve Ballmer loving what he is seeing. Go ahead, stop the ground. This game tied up with 11 seconds left. Off the miss, and there's DeAndre Jordan to clean things up and give the Nets the lead. LA would have a chance to tie, but Kawhi Leonard called for the offensive foul. Nets get the W, 112-108. They won a season-best 6 games in a row. James Harden led the way with 37 points. All right, let's roll to Tampa, Florida, home to the Toronto Raptors. What a time to be alive, right? Raptors taking on the Philadelphia 76ers, and former Oregon Duck Chris Boucher lit it up, scoring all 17 of his points over the final 14 minutes of the game. And the Tampa Raptors beat the Sixers 110-103. You still with me, folks? They've won their last 4 in a row. Boucher out there getting buckets. More Sports Sunday still to come. The Ducks and Beavers needed big wins today, and well, got him. But the Pac-12 is still a gauntlet this season. We'll see you on the other side. What do we have here? High school sports have returned in Washington. Thanks to the folks at VPS Game Time, we got to see the first volleyball matches and football games played in more than a year. There are a few changes this year, and stop me if you've heard this before. You saw the volleyball players wearing masks while playing, but the big one is attendance. There will be no fans at most events. The big schools in Southwest Washington will kick off the football season this week. Oregon's football season gets started on March 5th. But at least 2 local schools will not play full tackle football. In a letter to parents, school leaders at Sam Barlow in Gresham announced they and Gresham High School will not move forward with 11-on-11 football. District leaders say that isn't enough time to set up everything needed to play the game safely. Instead, they plan to offer low-contact variations of football, including stuff like 7-on-7 and lineman challenges. All right, let's talk college basketball. Crunch time in the Pac-12, the conference tournament less than 2 weeks away. The Oregon State Beavers on the bubble, needing to make some noise and make one final push to get that invitation to the big dance. And here's a good chance to do it. Visiting 8th-ranked UCLA. Fourth quarter, game tied at 57. Talia von Oelhoffen, she's shooting from Damian Lillard territory out there. The freshman had 13 points. The Beavers up by 3, and they would never trail again. Aaliyah Goodman getting buckets, led all scorers with 20 points. Beavers get a 71-64 win on the road. A huge W to boost their resume. They're in Eugene next week for a showdown with the Ducks. Aaron Boley and Oregon looking to snap a 3-game losing streak, and the senior had a good day. Drains the early 3, first of her 13 points. Sydney Parrish had 17 points. The Ducks led this game for all but the first 39 seconds when it was tied at 0. It's a blowout, and it's against a pretty solid team in USC. 72-48 your final. If you haven't seen the conference standings, this league is stacked. 5, 6, possibly 7 teams could make the NCAA tournament. Stanford, Arizona, UCLA, and the Ducks, they're locks. Bracketologists also like Washington State, who have wins over teams like Arizona, UCLA, and 2 over OSU. The Beavs, Colorado, USC, they could all use deep runs in the Pac-12 tournament. The Beavers making things happen right now. On the men's side, tomorrow night is a critical matchup for the Ducks. They're at USC, and a potential number 1 seed in the Pac-12 tournament is on the line. We're talking about a regular season title. The tournament will be seeded by winning percentage, so tomorrow night's winner is in the driver's seat. Bracketologists are not as kind to the Pac-12 men as they are to the women. Only 4 teams are in, according to ESPN's Joe Lunardi. Ah, yes, March is almost here, baby. We'll be right back.
And he missed. Do you foul if you're Stanford?
Don't play it
Noah
out like
Williams,
that.
3! Tie game!
Bang, bang. Producer Craig made me do it, folks. Noah Williams draining the deep 3 to force overtime. Williams, a beast, scoring 40 points as Washington State goes on to beat Stanford in triple overtime. The win guarantees WSU its first winning season in 10 years. As I mentioned, folks, producer Craig has hijacked this script because the next line says, I'm required to say go Cougs. Is that even true? Is there a rule? Well, that's also your Toyota Sunday Sizzle. Shortly after the big news that the Hillsboro Hops would be the full season single A affiliate for the Arizona Diamondbacks, the team announced its new manager for the upcoming season. The man in charge of the Hops is Vince Harrison. He's spent 5 years as hitting instructor within the Diamondbacks organization before being promoted to a manager position last year. This will be his first season in Hillsboro. In fact, this is his first trip to Oregon, period. And he's already feeling the love.
I can't tell you how overwhelmed I am with just how nice people are and just how people have reacted on social media. I can't say enough good things about the reputation, but just in my brief little week experience here, I'm so excited to get to experience it myself.
And baseball runs in the family. His brother Josh Harrison is a 2-time All-Star, and his uncle John Shelby won 2 World Series titles. Vince Harrison and the Hops open the season in May. Meantime, college baseball is here, and after the Beavers open the season with a loss, they're taking it out on everyone, including my New Mexico Lobos on Saturday. The OSU Beavers just destroyed my boys, winning 14-1. But at least my Lobos aren't Gonzaga. The Beavers dropped 20 runs on the Zags today. Beavers 2-1 so far. We'll be right back. They didn't have to do my Lobos like that. It all comes full circle on Sports Sunday. Gritty has game. Doesn't matter what Gritty does work. I had no idea, though, that snowboarding was on the resume, and Gritty is working it. So we showed you Gritty, the mascot, snowboarding. Here's why it was on the mountain. The Flyers and Bruins at Lake Tahoe for a little outdoor hockey. Look at those views. I mean, this is incredible. The Boston Bruins were ready to go. They dropped 7 goals on the Flyers. That's a lot. Capped off a big weekend for the NHL. They couldn't do the Winter Classic back on New Year's Day, so they did 2 outdoor games on the lake, and the views, I am just blown away by this. I really hope they do more of this. I wonder how some of the hockey purists feel about it, but man, I am loving it from a TV perspective. I can watch this stuff all day long. It's time to go to bed, night owls. You've been up so late. I appreciate you joining us for the show, but that does it for us tonight. We leave you with our Plays of the Week.
Ball ready, it's go time. Lights, camera, action, showtime. The heart of a champion, my opponents hate it. The throne is for the taking.
They were lucky that wasn't turned over. Anthony Edwards! Been very few in-game dunks that have looked like that. Put down on the poster. Rozier! Gonna have to put something on!
Naomi Osaka reclaims her crown at the Australian Open.
2 seconds left. Lillard from the logo. It's good! Logo Lillard!
This one's for the culture.
And driven to right field, and what a catch by the center fielder, Haley Cruz, the All-American.
This a wake, y'all. These some big boy cleats, ain't no small ball.
Back, still going back. Looks up. Grand slam home run, Ryan Over.
All the way down the ice, but not sure. Look at Stedman. Track it. No. He bats this thing.
Whether it is to give the dish or to score it,